Today I will be demonstrating how to shoot a basketball with proper form. I played basketball for 10 years, organized, and I still play recreational, so I've had a good bit of experience actually knowing how to shoot a basketball. I researched to find that according to NBA.com, Dr. James Naismith, who is right here, invented the game of basketball in 1891. He needed to teach a YMCA class, so this is kind of the game that he came up with for them to participate in. The only thing you really need in order to do this demonstration today is a basketball, but it would help if you had a hoop. But I'm just going to be teaching the form today, so I'm just going to be using a basketball. There's a common acronym out there, which is BEEF, which helps you remember the form that you need to use. ESPN.com cited Bob Knight as the first one to use this acronym to teach his players, and he's sort of a legendary basketball coach, so he knows what he's talking about. There are a lot of different steps you need to remember today in order to properly shoot a basketball with good form, so make sure you remember all these and don't skip any steps. The first thing you need to worry about is the form you need to use before actually shooting the basketball. One of the things here is the balance that you need in order to keep a good posture. According to CBSSports.com, in an interview with LeBron James, who's arguably the best basketball player right now, claimed that balance is the most important thing that he thinks when shooting. Next I will talk about what you actually are doing, the form you're using when you're shooting the basketball. One thing you need to remember here is with your elbow to keep it at a 90-degree angle. Lastly, I would talk about the form you need to use after you release the basketball. One thing you need here is to remember with the follow-through. This will provide the backspin on the ball, which you need. I hope all of you learned something today and can remember the form that you need to use and all these steps so you can go out and practice. The order I'm going to be presenting this today is the form you use before actually shooting the basketball, the form you use during shooting the basketball, and the form you use after you release the basketball. First, I'm going to talk about the form you need to use before actually shooting the basketball. The most important thing is the balance that you use, and that brings us to the first B in BEEF, which is balance. I will now list the steps that you need to use in order to keep your balance while shooting. First off, you need to stay in an athletic position, so get your feet shoulder width apart and kind of bend down, get ready to shoot the ball. Keep your feet at your shoulder width, so just straight up and down on your shoulders. Keep your shooting foot, which if you're right-handed would be your left foot, slightly ahead of your other foot. So keep down and then have your left foot ahead of your right foot. Then place your entire body straight up with the basket, so make sure you're facing the basket the entire time. Now for the first E in BEEF is eyes. Here you need to choose a target. Most people say either to choose the back of the rim or the front of the rim. Usually I will pick the back of the rim to focus on, and then you need to focus only on this. Don't focus on your wrist or the ball or anything, just this point that you decided to pick. Then don't watch any of that other stuff, just the point. All of these steps are very important to shooting with proper form, so don't forget any of these and make sure you follow all of them. Next, I will show you what you need to use while you are actually shooting the basketball. And with this, now that you kind of know what to do before then, now you need to know what to do during. So first, get your basketball. Then you need to cock your hand back at a 90-degree angle and then keep the ball to your side of your face. And with this, once you go to follow through, you need to have your pointer finger go right through your eye and then come right back through. Look at the back of your wrist, make sure it's cocked back, and with this, you need to come up through, straighten your arm at a vertical angle, and then you'll come up through, and at this point you'll be able to release the basketball. And this process allows us to actually be able to shoot the ball. So next I'm going to talk about the follow through, which this is the last part, and this is what you do actually after you release the basketball. So once you come up through with your vertical arm and then release back through, you need to act like your hand is in the top of a cookie jar reaching up there. And once you release the ball, you need to follow the ball and then see if the ball went in. If it didn't, go get the rebound and try again. So that completes the process of actually shooting the basketball. Now for the best part, you get to practice more. So if you practice this, maybe one day you end up like this guy who's Michael Jordan. He's arguably the best basketball player of all time. So I hope you can see why all these steps are important and why you need to practice every day in order to be able to get better at this. I hope you also learned something today. And like I said earlier, through NBA.com, James Naismith was the inventor of basketball, so the jump shot's been around since that time. The process used with the elbow and the second E of beef allows you to actually shoot the basketball. So the end process to follow through gets the backspin on the ball, which allows you to make more shots, arguably. According to NBA.com, LeBron James cited balance as the most important part of shooting, and according to ESPN.com, Bob Knight was the creator of the beef shooting format, which we've learned today. My process included what you needed to do before, during, and after you actually shot the ball. Thank you for watching today, and I hope you guys learned something. Now I'm going to go practice my jump shot a little bit, and I hope you guys do as well. There are my sources, and then here's the audience that was watching me.